Okay, so today I'd like to show you how to make a graph in Excel. Here I've got some data. We've got some enrollment numbers for the engineering degree and some enrollment numbers for the IT degree. These are all fake, but they're fun anyway. We've also got the year for each of those enrollment numbers. So that will go on the x-axis and these will be on the y-axis for our graph. So let's get started. Let's select, we'll just start with the engineering degree and we're going to click on charts, and we have a list of different charts here: column, line, pie, bar. We'll just start with the column chart first, and here's heaps of different styles of chart. We're just going to choose the first one, just the first one. And so out pops this graph. And we can see we've got a nice y-axis with numbers from 0 up to 3000, which matches quite closely to our numbers here. We've got numbers that go up to 2811 here, so that's fine. But down the bottom here we don't have anything useful, do we? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That doesn't tell us anything. We'd like to put the year down the bottom, wouldn't we? So to do that, let's right-click the graph, right-click on the graph, and choose Select Data. That's Select Data. And that brings up this dialog. And you can see we've got Y values, B2 to B12. That's these numbers here. So that makes sense. But we've also got X-axis labels, and there's nothing selected there. So we want to put these numbers into that hole there. So to do that, we click on this weird little icon, and that means we can then select A2 to A12. And now we've got it, we can press OK. And you can see now our numbers have changed down the bottom here, and it's a bit easier to read this graph, isn't it? Because we can tell which year this number refers to and which year this number refers to. Much more useful. We don't know what this is called though. We can kind of guess, but we certainly don't know what this refers to. 3000 watts. So we, as in 3000, what do they refer to? So we need to give it axis titles for the x-axis and for the y-axis. So to do that, we go to chart layout, and we can see axis titles here, and there's horizontal axis and vertical axis. The horizontal axis is the x-axis and the vertical axis is the y-axis. So let's start with the horizontal axis, and we want to choose title below axis, we want one. And we're going to call this one year. Now for the y-axis, we need to choose vertical axis. We're going to choose rotated title. You can try out the other options if you want to, but I like this one. And we're going to call it enrollments in engineering degree. Okay, so we now have an axis title for the x-axis and the y-axis. This big title here isn't very important because we already have the data and we've got the name of the data, so we can delete that. And this legend here would be very important if we had lots of different data on the graph, but we've only got one set of numbers on the graph, so we'll delete that as well, making the graph nice and big. Now we've got numbers under each of them. Look what happens if I make the graph smaller. We get less of the numbers. A bit larger, they go vertical. So the graph reformats itself based on the aspect ratio of the graph. It's square now. Now it's rectangular, so things change. Alright, so that's making a graph.